Okay, so in this video, I'll be walking you through the exercise. Well, not the exercise, but the example on your page 195, which is an example of your next exercise on page 197. So I'm just gonna show you things that you're gonna be doing in this exercise and actually how you're gonna do them, okay? Not with the actual exercise, but with something similar, okay? So the first thing that we're gonna do here in this exercise, I'm gonna set a background color for the HTML element, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do HTML, and I'm gonna set a background color, and it's gonna be a gradient. Okay, so with gradient, again, we do background, if I can type, a background color. And that background color, sorry, it's not background color, it's now image. So with that background image, remember, we're gonna call your WebKit. So I'm gonna do WebKit, and I'm gonna do linear gradient. And remember that we need, basically, in this case or in this example, we're gonna provide two colors, okay? So we're gonna do, this is gonna be to bottom, okay? So it's gonna be to the bottom, and we're gonna have the white start in a 0%, and then we're gonna have a second color. And again, I can do colors like names, or I can also pass the hex value. In this case, it's gonna be FAC D8A, and that color is gonna be in 100%. Okay. Now, remember, because I have to pass this background image in different WebKits, might not work yet. So if I look my code correctly, this should be working. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna do this just to see that is correct. This is right, and I'm gonna duplicate this. This is the fastest way to do this. So you just duplicate these 4 times, and then you can just start changing this. So WebKit, so I'm gonna do Mozilla, right? And then I'm gonna use WebKit, and I'm gonna do O for Opera, and then I'm just gonna keep this. So at this point, this should be start working, okay? So you see right now, boom. Now we have a background color, okay? So let's keep going. Now we're gonna start setting the body, the values for the body element. Remember, with box modeling, what we're gonna do, we're gonna set width, padding, margin, and things like that. So the first value that we're gonna set is gonna be the background color. So background color, and that's gonna be a white color. So boom, it changed to white. But look at this. So if you look at your, basically on your left, you can see that this is white, and look at the nice transition that we have right now on this website. Like, it's looking good already, okay? So background color, and then I'm gonna set the width of this element, and it's gonna be 700 pixels, okay? Oh, sorry, that should be a column, 700 pixels. Notice how now the body element is just using 700. Then I'm gonna set the margin to 50 pixels, top and bottom, and then the left and right is gonna be to auto. So you see how now it's centered. That's really cool. I'm gonna set some padding, so there is a little more space between my element and the margin and the border. So I'm gonna set the padding to 15 pixels, and then I'm gonna do auto. No, sorry, not auto. I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna do a 1.5 M. So you can start notice that things will start shifting a little bit, like, which is really good. So then I'm gonna set a border here, and the border is gonna be, again, my first value is gonna be how thick the line is gonna be. Then I'm gonna set a solid line, and then that line is gonna be black. So now you can see, I go here, click around, see how it's looking right now. It's like it has a solid white, and then it has like this nice box around it. Okay, so let's keep moving. So we have the body element. I think is good. We are going to actually do a border radius, which basically what it does, the only thing that it does is kind of like create like nice shapes on the corners. So that's gonna be 25 pixels. And if you notice right now, the corners of the body element are kind of like cool, like, you know, they shaped a little bit. So that's really cool. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna close this rule, and then after that, we're gonna create a box shadow, which basically creates a shadow on a in a element. Okay, so remember last week we were talking about how to create shadows on text. This one is used for elements, for block elements. So, and it's basically the same thing. 5 pixels, 0, 0. Okay, so now if you notice here, we have this border, which is really cool, I think. So left bottom, and then 0, 0. Okay, header, we're gonna move to the header element. So header element here, we're gonna add a padding. So just for the header element, we're gonna add a padding bottom. Remember, the padding is the space between the element and the border itself. So we're gonna add a padding bottom, the 1M. So that creates a little bit like space between the elements, so you can see it over there. And then we're gonna create a border at the bottom of this element. So bottom 2px, and that's gonna be solid. And then the color is gonna be and the hex color, so it's gonna be F2972E. Okay, so that's the color. So that's kind of like an orange color. Okay, so after that, we are going to move to we have the text shadow here, and I think that's it. If you notice here, no too many things have changed, and that's how our element looks like. Oh, I think we'll need to add to the footer. Now that I see the image, we need to add some formatting to the footer element. Okay, so we're gonna come here to the end of the line. The footer is gonna be a margin top. Again, we're gonna create a margin, and it's gonna be 2M. So you see, creating a bigger margin, so that looks better. We're gonna create a border top of 2 pixels. sorry, I'm gonna move this 2 pixels, and it's gonna be solid, and then it's gonna be this color that I just used here, which is the F2. So I'm just gonna copy it here. Perfect. That looks good. And I'm gonna do a padding bottom, which again creates more space between the border and the element itself of 0.7 m. And that's it. So if you look at this, we have created, so we center our body element. So first of all, we add a background color to the HTML element. So that's the background over there. So if I click here, you can see the background there. We center the body element, and how we did that, we set a width, and then we set the margin to 15 and auto. So basically it centers the element. We add some padding and some border around. So it looks like nice and clean. We add a box shadow, which basically creates, with this values, creates this box shadow here. Then we went to the header element here, and we create a padding. So create more space between, basically we create some space between the element itself and its border. And then after that, we add a border at the bottom. So we keep going. At the end, we did the kind of the same thing in the footer. In the footer, we create a margin. So basically it has a margin top here, but we change it. Margin top of 2M. And then we have a border top, basically of a line here. And then we create more space to separate the element from the edge of the bottom. And that's it.